Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Hardy Realty Show on Rome Business Radio. We are broadcasting from the Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I am Roger Manus with Rome Business Radio, and for the Hardy Realty Show this month, our Hardy Realty representative is Keith Beauchamp. Hi, Keith. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Did you get suckered into this, or are you excited to be here?
A little bit of both.
The fine folks at Hardy tend to have a different representative every month on their show, and Keith's the lucky guy this month. How are you doing, man? You okay?
I'm doing well, yeah.
And our guest is Drew Taylor with the Community Kitchen. Hi, Drew. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm just hunky-dory, as we say down south. You don't hear hunky-dory in a lot of other parts of the country, but in the south, I'm hunky-dory. So Community Kitchen, everybody's probably heard about it, but if you could kind of give us a big, broad overview, what you guys are, what you do, the floor is yours. Go.
Be glad to. 2009, several of the churches had representatives that came together, formed one location, which is over on Fort Calhoun Avenue, the old Troy's Barbecue building, as everybody knows it. And we started feeding there. And since then, we have fed over 550,000 meals. And not only that, we built a new kitchen. Now, January was 8 years ago. And we actually have the old Troy's building is now shower and laundry services. So we've done over 5,000 loads of clothes, over 5,000 showers. We just did 397 showers in the month of January. So, and about 171 loads of clothes. We're feeding 1,900 meals a month.
So you're serving homeless?
Yes.
Low income?
Anybody that walks in the door, no questions asked, no background checks, nothing. I mean, if they come in, we feel like they're there for a reason, and they're there to use our services.
So unemployed, somebody's having a rough month.
Yes, we take care of them.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Good for you. So Keith, what is Hardy's attachment to Community Kitchen?
Well, Hardy, we have a part of Hardy now that we've created called Hardy Helps, and with that, we like to. I mean, everybody in the company likes to give back in some way, and with the Community Kitchen, that seems to be something that we've really become a big part of, and everybody really enjoys doing. And when that's put out there for any of us to volunteer to go do, I mean, we always have a good turnout, and everybody really enjoys doing it and feels like they're this is really giving back to the community. So it's a big thing and a very positive thing for I think everybody.
So you've done it yourself personally. You volunteered, and just to talk about your personal experience, the fulfillment and things. You can't really appreciate the need for something like that in the community till you're involved with it. And once you do it, it makes you look at life a lot differently, I think is probably the best way I can describe it, and understand that there are plenty of people that need help in a lot of different ways, and any way you can help and give back and do whatever, I think I don't want to say it does. It's not doing anything for me personally, because I want to, it's about who we're trying to help. And sure.
that's to me, that's where all the focus needs to be. So.
Yeah. I remember a minister saying one time that, it's about you see the love of Christ in their eyes, and they see the love of Christ in your eyes. It's interesting to me that the Community Kitchen sprang from church organizations working together.
Yes.
Which, different denominations, yes. Sometimes that might be hard to find some agreement.
That was one of the toughest tasks when I came in, was getting everyone to work together on the same page. But we've been able to accomplish that now for 13 years. So.
Yeah, so I was going to say technically they're all on the same team, but yes. Different denominations, you might have different yes. approaches. So you've been involved since the inception?
Well, I came in about a year after. So I actually volunteered before they hired me. So I was there about half a year after they started. So been there 12 years, going on 12 years.
And what is your background?
Actually worked at Pirelli Tire for a while, and then just really I'm like multitask. I'm super energetic or whatever, and just was really bored to death. And 3-6 months in, I'm like, there's got to be more to life than doing this every day, or whatever. And then, had some life struggles, and then ended up at a place called Valley Rescue Mission in Columbus, Georgia. And I had no idea at the time, but they have a soup kitchen there, shelter, everything else. I worked there, helped out, got ministered to, gave my life to Christ. And through all that, came back to Rome, and God led me to the community kitchen, and I've been there ever since. That was 13 years ago. So
yeah. So you're a Rome native?
Yes, grew up in Lindale. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, that's as Rome as it gets.
Yeah.
Pepperell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Graduated class of 1997. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, we're going to digress a bit here, but I do want to touch on this while I'm thinking about it. Your name is Drew Taylor.
Yes, sir.
So you're technically Andrew Taylor.
Yes.
So you could have gone by Andy Taylor, which is the sheriff on the classic Andy Griffith Show.
No, we went the other way with Drew.
You went with Drew instead of Andy for that reason?
I don't know if it was technically for that reason, but thank God it was, that my parents went with Drew.
Well, just to avoid.
Because and I'm 6'8", so I already get asked how tall I am a million times a day. So can you imagine having the Andy Taylor in there too,
But it's the greatest show ever.
Right. It is. I agree.
I grew up on it on the reruns on Ted Turner, and every time there was a Braves rain delay, it was the Andy Griffith doubleheader. And,
yes, sir. I remember.
So love that show. So Drew Taylor, I think you missed a chance, but I understand it might have been tough as a kid to be Andy Taylor in a southern town.
Yeah, definitely. So.
Then you'd have to start, telling everybody where Aunt B is,
and
OP and the whole,
and how tall you are if you're 6'8". So the questions would be endless.
It would have really been funny if you had a friend growing up named Barney.
Yes. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the community kitchen. You mentioned Hardy Helps, Keith. Is that just a kind of a recent thing you guys have started to kind of coalesce all of the work you guys do in the community?
Yeah, it was just a way to create or a way to show that Hardy. I don't know if I'm not going to say created a sub thing, but I mean just a way to create a brand for Hardy that allowed us to say Hardy Helps is going to do. We did there was a blood drive the other day, and so we had a good turnout. And I think they were in the end. They said we saved 27 lives. I think with the blood that was donated over Christmas. We did Toys for Tots, and there was our whole our front lobby was full of toys. I mean, it's the company as a whole. I mean, when there's something out there, I mean, everybody goes all in. We did gas cards that were given to, and I'm gonna mess that up. I don't know. But there was everybody, and then literally everybody, donates or gives in some way when it's no one backs away from it at all. So to me that's it's really eye opening to see a company that really comes together and is willing to give to whatever it is, and so.
And it's refreshing as a nonprofit to know that you have a big company like Hardy that supports you and backs you. And I mean, talking about publicity for our cause, I mean, when people find out that Hardy supports us, you know how many people follow Hardy on Facebook, whatever, the social media outlet may be, or how many people are friends with, a sales rep or whoever, a realtor. And it just, it really helps our nonprofits out, get our work, get our name out there, get our mission out there. And not only that, but encourage other people to volunteer. When they see Hardy does it, they want to come volunteer,
Yeah. How long have you worked at Hardy, Keith?
I've been there almost a year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's one of the things that we, it's interesting to me. Jimmy Byers does not like me singing his praises, but I like mentioning it on the show once a month. Hardy Realty uses this podcast platform to celebrate good things going on in the community, like your organization. And at the Community Kitchen, we don't talk about home sales.
Yes.
But we will let you provide your contact information at the end if anybody does want to buy or sell a home, Keith, because but just Hardy is so connected to so many good things going on. So I wanted to get that out of the way. But Drew, you mentioned the number of meals and everything. So where does it come from? The food is donated. You raise money. What do you need?
Both. But probably 90% is donated. We occasionally have to buy stuff. Like today, I had to go get a couple, some 20 tomatoes, a bunch of cucumbers to make a salad with. We had the salad mix that we had bought from Aldi. So I would say both. I don't want to say it's all donated, but 90% of it is. And 90% of it is donated by this community. Local schools, churches, businesses, individuals, you name it. We have the sign outside of our business that says need of the week. We put up there what we need. People bring it in. We have an awesome community. I tell you, I was talking to a lady at Kroger yesterday when I went to get a few things, and she was just talking about how wonderful Rome is in supporting, those in need and nonprofits and everything else. And I said, I know firsthand. She didn't know. She was talking to me that I run the community kitchen. And so we got to talking. I was telling her, I'm just blown away daily by the support that we get from our community.
So you mentioned the number of meals that you've done all time.
Yes.
How many meals are you serving a day?
About 80 right now. And it can range anywhere from, 80 to 100, 110, 120, depending on the time of the month. Toward the end of the month, we serve more. People's benefits run out, their food stamps, whatever may run out. So you get more people toward the end of the month than you do at the first of the month. And
is there a time of day? Is this breakfast, lunch, dinner? Is it?
It's just lunch now. Yes, and it's Monday through Friday. On Friday we do a hot meal and a sack lunch, so they'll have a meal for Saturday also. So technically 6 days a week, but we're open 5. So we're open from 8 a.m. We start prepping at 8, and then prep all the way to about 10 o'clock, and then we start getting ready to serve. We pre-prepare everything now because of COVID and put it in to-go trays and bag it all up and serve. People come through 3 at a time. We hand them the meal, and they go out the other side on the door. They get their drink, their meal, everything. A lot of times we'll have canned goods out on the tables. They can get groceries, a few little items each, and we try to help them as much as possible.
So I guess COVID changed everything about the way everybody operates.
Yes. We have a dining room that seats over 100, and we're not able to vitalize or use that right now. So
did you ever have to shut down totally?
No, never missed a day. We have that is one of the most awesome testimonies. In 13 years, we've never missed a day of serving.
Wow.
We even had one day years ago. This was when we were in the old Troy's building. Somebody had stole the copper out of our air conditioned units, and we thought we were going to have to shut down for a day. And Chick-fil-A stepped up, came in, and handed out sandwiches. So we technically have never missed a day of service.
Chick-fil-A tends to do that.
Yes, they do. In 13 years. So, and what an awesome testimony to our community. It's all. We're able to do it because of the support of our community.
And is it all volunteer? Or do you have some staff?
We have 2 staff members, me and a kitchen manager, Sheila Watkins, and then I have 2 legacy employees through it's actually a grant, federal grant, and it's Legacy Link is the government contract company that provides us with 2 employees. So we have 2 of those, and they take care of their payroll, everything, workman's comp, everything. And then we're just a job training site for them, and it's adults 55 and older. So we have 2 of those, and then we have 2 official staff people that are through the community kitchen, me and Sheila. And
so when you are serving, you said no questions asked. So yes. Families, kids,
yeah, anybody.
Okay,
yes, sir.
Interesting. So and we touched on your background a little bit. To me, this line of work is a calling.
Yes.
Could you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I had, I was talking earlier about being in Columbus, Georgia at Valley Rescue Mission, and I had worked in the soup kitchen. That was where they put me. And, I had no idea then it was pre-training for what I'm doing now.
So you were just volunteering. You were
just helping out and everything else and trying to figure out my life path, my career path or whatever. And, God had led me there, and I was just trying to see where God was going to take me, and then when I came back to Rome, ended up at the community kitchen, and I realized
after selling tires.
Yeah. Well, did that before I went to Columbus.
Oh, okay.
So, but then I realized, okay, this is what the Valley Rescue Mission pre-training was for, because God never, sends you out to do something that He doesn't already train you to do or equip you to do. So God had equipped me and trained me through Valley Rescue Mission to run the community kitchen in Rome. I had no idea then, but I know it now, because I came in and I knew what to do. I knew how to run it. I knew how to do the daily things that needed to be done to make sure everybody got fed and the business ran. So, and then I've been there ever since. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, so not only is it a passion, but just running an operation.
Yes.
There's headaches. But I guess there's fulfillment differently in your world than in other businesses.
No doubt. Yeah. I sleep great at night. So
despite any headaches.
Yes. Despite any headaches, you have to focus on the overall big picture, because you're going to have, that one person that causes a ruckus or whatever. You have to call 911 or whatever and get them involved sometimes, because you have somebody acting crazy or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you serve 80 people that needed that meal to sustain them so that they could, continue to live and function in life, it's really well worth it,
Yeah. I get it. So yeah, headaches. What would your headaches be? Funding? The food supply?
No, thank God I haven't had to really worry about all that. God takes care of all that. I gave it to him years ago when he gave me the job or the wonderful people on the board of the community kitchen gave me the job. I gave it to God and said, this is your ministry. You just guide it, lead it, direct it, and I'll be your vessel or whatever. And I mean, it's amazing the connections I've made over the years and just doors that he's opened, and not only that, but providing us with the food. I mean, we can just talk about, say, if me and you are there, Roger, and we're saying, hey, we're running low on this. Somebody will bring a donation in the next day, and it'll be exactly what we needed and what we were talking about.
Well, that's fascinating to me. You mentioned you put the need list.
Yeah, and sometimes we don't even have to put it up there. Somebody will bring it in before we even get it on the board.
Okay, now that's
yes. I see that daily. I've seen it daily for the last 12 years. So it's so cool. It's just amazing.
Keith, you said you'd been at Hardy for about a year. What is your background?
I originally started out in IT, in the IT world. That kind of led me to a hobby that I had was in photography, which I still currently do. And I do real estate photography and video as well. And I've been doing that for forever. And that kind of led me to real estate itself, where I kind of fell in love with houses and commercial properties and just, wanting to get more involved in that. And so I got licensed and have been, doing it ever since. And I actually love it. I mean, it's a way for me to, take a passion that I had in photography where I can still do that. And then, really get involved in the real estate side or the actual real estate side of it too.
Well, and jumping in at Hardy, of course they're so well known here, but I mean, the housing business has been great the last few years, even through the pandemic.
It has.
So, you've been, cashing in, cha-ching.
Well, trying to in some ways, definitely. But yeah, it's a great company to work for. Everybody there is great. Like I said, and just the way that everybody's willing to give back is just mind blowing. It really is. I would say to anyone listening to this, if you get the opportunity to, or can just take some time a morning and volunteer. It's very rewarding. It's just it'll make your day. It'll make your day better. It'll make you smile for sure. So,
well, Drew, what's the process there? If somebody does want to volunteer, do they call? Do they get trained? What happens?
Yeah, they contact me. I'll set it up on a day where we need help because we are still sponsored by a lot of the local churches. But there's days where we fill in. Like when Hardy comes, they pretty much have a day because they bring, 7-8 people to prep, 8 to 10 people to serve. So that's just a Hardy day that day, So, but we always schedule it around days where we're shorthanded, where we know those churches are going to be shorthanded or, not able to fill that day or whatever. But we are supported by several main churches. There's now about 8 involved. It started with about 4, and now it's grown to about 8 involved. Especially through COVID and everything else, because a lot of our volunteers are older retired people or whatever. Some of them have kind of backed off because of health reasons from being able to volunteer.
Sure.
So they can contact me on my cell phone or reach out to us at Rome Community Kitchen 2009 at gmail.com. And they can email me, usually phone. Most people just contact me by phone. So I'll give out my phone number.
No, go ahead.
706-766-8141. And I can set it up for them to come volunteer, and then we'll train them when they get there.
So like they'd walk in, and in 30 minutes you got them working.
Yes. We show them everything to do. It's so easy. All you got to do is show up. That's it. I have people ask me all the time, do I need to, fill out paperwork? Do I need to do any training? I'm like, no, we show you how to do all that. We take care of all that.
So how many volunteers do you need daily? Well, I mean, you say, most of the time the church supplies are a Hardy day, but
yes.
what's your normal staffing need on it?
About 5 to 8. So 8's a good number, 5, usually if a little bit less to prep, a little more to serve now since we have to bag everything up and all that. So usually about 4 or 5 people to help prep and then 5 to 8 to help serve. So.
And I don't want to put you on the spot because it could be a memory test, but do you want to list the churches that you said are heavily involved, or
No, I'll be glad to. I make out
there's a lot of them.
I make out the schedules and everything, but we have so many too that donate, and they may not be able to volunteer as much because they have a younger congregation. So we have a lot of those that do that, and then they'll come, during the summer more so than throughout the year. But our main core churches that help us fill month in and month out are First Methodist, First Baptist, First Presbyterian, a lot of first, Oak Hill Church of Christ, Westminster Presbyterian, St. Peter's, and then we plug in several other churches in there. We've had Hollywood Baptist help us out a lot lately on some days where we're shorthanded, and we plug churches in along through there, or groups or individuals, so to make it all work. So we can get the job done, get everybody fed.
I gotcha.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just astonished that you've never missed a day.
Yeah. West Rome Baptist Church, too. I need to plug them. I don't want to leave it. See, I hate when I have to name because I don't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah. I feared asking you that question.
I don't want anybody to get upset and, and think that we left them out.
Well, as Sheriff Andy Taylor, you could always arrest them if they came and got in your face.
Yes, because we definitely value every individual, every church, every organization, every business that helps us out. That's what's sustained us for the last 13 years.
Well, and you also mentioned it's not just the meals anymore. When did you get into the laundry and the showering?
About 6 years ago. So we had the old Troy's building became vacant, and we with a building like that, you have to have insurance, you have to have utilities. You have to have utilities to have insurance, and you have to have insurance on the building. So we came up with the idea of the board, and we decided that we needed to use that building for something. And so we decided on showers and laundry services. And we actually started we had a washer and a dryer donated, and we had one washer and dryer. Now we've got 5, and they're all Speed Queens, and then we've got 2 showers, and we're about to add another one. We're going to add a handicap accessible shower in the spring. So we're excited. It's kind of growing. That little ministry is growing, so it's neat.
So do volunteers do the laundry, or do the people who need the laundry done do it themselves, or how does that work?
No, most of the time it's community service people.
I got you.
Yeah, and then we have one of the legacy linked employees. She kind of oversees everything, and then we plug community service people in and help out. So, and every once in a while you'll have somebody volunteer, but most of the volunteers want to do the food part of it. Yeah, so which we're glad for them to do that. So
yeah, because it's just what you don't think of because you get living in your own bubble of your own life. The need for a shower.
Yeah.
The need to get your clothes washed. So that seems to be a great extension of your brand. So it's the community kitchen plus.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, and it makes sense when you have, several years ago we were doing, 150 plus. We were serving 150 plus meals a day. When you have that many people coming to one location, it makes sense to have what they need all in one location, so they don't have to ride all over town, and miss out on getting a shower or getting their clothes washed because they were 30 minutes late or they went to the wrong place or whatever. So it makes sense to have everything in one location.
Well, and you mentioned you had bigger numbers years ago.
Yes.
How do you plan the meals without knowing how many are going to walk in there?
You just prepare a little extra, and then on Fridays you do leftovers. So Monday through Thursday,
just like every family.
Yes, that's what you have to do. Or else you're having to throw, and we don't want to throw anything away. So if you don't, you'll have to throw food away. So. Because you can't guesstimate it now. Used to, I could guesstimate when before COVID, when our dining room was open, I could say we're gonna feed 130 today, and we would be close to that number. Now I have no idea. So.
Right. So what time does your day get started with it? If it's a lunch meal?
Yes. So
when is it actually open for people to walk in?
8 a.m.
Okay.
And then we serve from 11 to 12.
Okay.
Yes.
So you spend your whole day worrying about tomorrow.
Yeah, we always at least stay a day ahead. Sometimes we're 2 days ahead, depending on how much help you have. Like we have Hardy. I'm gonna plug them again. We have Hardy come in. They bring 5 to 8 people to help prep. You can get 2-3 days ahead easy. So
which
is good because then if you have a day where you're shorthanded, you've already got it covered.
Yeah.
So
so did you prep or did you serve, Keith? Or
I've done both sides of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any preference?
No, not really. Like I said, honestly, it's all rewarding and you just feel like you're helping somebody out, and it just like I said, there's can't beat that.
Yeah, and I hear firsthand what they don't get to hear. I have the people talk to me, tell me how much they appreciate it, tell me how much of a answered prayer it was to them to know that they could come up there and get a meal, and not have to worry about that for that day. They don't have to worry about where am I going to get my meal from or whatever. They already know they can come to the community kitchen. They're going to get fed,
Yeah. What's the old expression there? But for the grace of God,
yes.
Well, great. What you guys do is wonderful. Let's kind of go around here and get some final thoughts and contact information so people can know more. Keith, any final thoughts from you just about being the Hardy representative here today?
Well, I'm happy to be here, and glad. And this is, like I said, I can't say it enough that if someone can help, whether it's with community kitchen or anything in the community, it's there's a need out there, and if you're able to do it, and I highly recommend it. It's we all need to help each other out, and because no matter where you're at, who you are, or whatever, we all need help, and if you can do it, it's a good feeling in you for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. And contact information for you, if it's a hardyrealty.com, and you'd be listed under agents, but email or phone number that you might want to give out if somebody does want to buy or sell a house.
Yeah, no, it's Keith Beauchamp, residential or commercial, either one. And give me a call, 706-767-5778, and love to help you.
Yeah, those real estate agents, they give out their phone number.
I don't blame them.
they give out their phone number.
You don't sell any houses,
And Drew, one more time, your street address, your hours, your website, social media, your phone number, what have you, just all your contact information.
We are at 4 Calhoun Avenue. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 12. And we are at Rome Community Kitchen on Facebook. And then we also have a webpage, just RomeFloydCommunityKitchen.org.
Okay. And your phone number again?
706-766-8141.
And any final thoughts?
No, I thank y'all for having us.
If any financial support or time that people can give.
Yeah, they can always give money, definitely. So, and mailing address for that is 3 Central Plaza, Suite 384, and that's Rome, Georgia 30161. It's a box at the UPS store over in Central Plaza.
Okay,
so,
or of course,
or 4 Calhoun Avenue, either or.
Yeah. I was going to say, or just get a hold of you.
Yes, or get a hold of me,
and we'll make it work.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. We appreciate it. This has been the Hardy Realty Show on Rome Business Radio. We broadcast from the Hardy Realty Studios, and we work in cooperation with the Rome News Tribune. I'm Roger Maness, and for Keith at Hardy Realty and Jimmy Byers and the whole gang, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it.